Hi there guys, Neil at Italia Autos here. Welcome back to another video on my channel, and behind me is an Alfa 156 2.5 V6. It's an early phase 1 model, and unfortunately this is the second time in 14 years of being in business I've had to refuse to a customer to work on their vehicle because this vehicle is downright dangerous. Now this vehicle has been on the channel before. We did an exhaust fitment on it a couple of years ago, and that's all I've seen it for since, and it's come back to me for some welding to be done to it. Now I did notice when it was in the unit before, it's had quite a bit of welding done to it, and none of it looked as though it was a back to standard sort of way. So this has come to me partially repaired, already stripped down. I don't know the reasoning behind why the guy had stopped welding it, but I have my suspicions. And as you can see, it's had a new floor pan put in. But it is a totally flat bit of metal. There is no support ridges built into the metal at all. So any structure that would have been there before has been removed, and it gets worse. This centerpiece has been removed, and there's been a little brace put in, but it's quite insufficient, to be honest. That's the extent of how bad the floor pad rot was. So I mean, this is the extent of how bad the rust was on this area. Is this whole bottom piece has rusted away, and the only places it was supported would have been at the end here and along there somewhere where I just cut it off. Now on this side, let's see if I can get in and show you. It's just had repair patch after repair patch done to it, and it's literally just been welded onto rusty metal. So I dread to think about what it's like behind there. And it does get worse, folks. It does actually get worse. This is the floor pan that was on the car. And as you can see, pretty much half the floor pan had already been welded on several times on top of rusty metal. But the worst area is where he started to repair it. As you can see, this is finished. Now looking at this repair, this was his final repair because he has actually welded it in all the way along here. He hasn't made any effort to make the panels match up there. He's literally cut all the chassis out along there, meaning the only thing holding this car together is the outer sill. But the outer sill, let's lift this up out of the way, that is the outer sill which he considered okay to weld to. That's the B pillar there, look, not attached to anything. All the way along, that sill is absolutely rotten, and there's still holes in the floor down there. I will talk about all the factors of why I'm not going to repair this in a second to you. It's also had a brand new, well, I would like to say a brand new outer sill put on a few years ago. And it's all been welded to the front wing. So in order to repair any of that down there, behind here, we need to take this outer sill off, which means we need to take both front wings off. We need to remove the old sills, but because they've been welded on, they're not going to be spot welded in the normal places. So it's going to be a nightmare to remove. And it's the same. And unfortunately, it's the same as this on both sides. It's just that that's not been stripped down to reveal the same horrors that are on that side. So I know full well, once this sill comes off or we start taking that floor pan out, this side is going to be just as rusty. Now, why have I refused to work on it? It's purely for the fact of the cost of doing a proper job. I mean, you've seen me work on my Punto, and that took me of my own personal time, probably way over 10 days of solid welding, and that was sort of pieces. But what this guy's done down here is literally taken all the chassis stiffness out of the car. I would dread to think what would happen to this if I put it on the ramp. It would literally bend in half on that one side. I forgot where I was now. I'm that flummoxed by it. Right, yeah, the reason I'm not going to repair it is because it needs to be on a jig, and they're mega money. To rent the space on one is mega money. The cost of fabricating new panels, mega money, you can't buy them. And I'll say a minimum to repair this up to a safe standard is going to be like 10 grand. So I have told the customer, he does know I'm doing a video on it, that unfortunately this is just too far gone to be financially viable to repair. Yeah, I'd love to repair it, but it really isn't worth it. The customer does have sentimental value for the car, so I kind of get where he is, where he wants to carry on with it and keep repairing it. But yeah, second car in 14 years, I've said, give up on it. It's too far gone. 100%, yes, it's repairable, but not without spending way too much money. So what I'm going to ask you guys for is, do any of you guys have a decent shell 2.5 V6? The engine could be knackered, the suspension could be knackered, anything could be knackered on it, apart from the fact it's got a good shell. So we can help this customer out and get all of his, I haven't even told you this, this is basically, it's his track car, and he's got all upgraded suspension on it, bigger brakes on it. It's got a 3-litre engine in it. It's got a stupidly expensive exhaust on it, which you saw me fit a couple of years ago. So he wants to basically keep the car, but obviously we need another shell. So I'm sure somebody has a low mileage one on their driveway with a cam belt gone. That's been sitting there on their driveway for years and they're looking to get rid of. So let me know, comment below, the email's in the description. And fingers crossed we can get this customer out of a hole and get him at least back into another 156. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one, and there'll be another video later today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.